Recession. Recession is a period when the economy slows down for at least 2 quarters. People lose their job, businesses make less money, and spending drops. Usually caused by a shock like war, a pandemic, or financial crisis. It can also come from high interest rates. Analogy is like a car running out of gas. The engine slows, people stop moving, and progress stalls. Example: during the 2008 global financial crisis, over 8 million Americans lost their jobs. Entire neighborhoods in Detroit were abandoned. Even banks collapsed. Lehman Brothers, a 158-year-old firm, went bankrupt when global financial crisis struck them. The conclusions is recessions are like warning alarms. When people and businesses stop moving, the whole economy suffers. Inflation. Inflation is a condition when prices of goods and services go up and your money loses value. Inflation is divided into 4 types of inflation: low inflation, moderate inflation, high inflation, and hyperinflation. And each type has its own inflation rate. Cause can be from printing too much money, rising production costs, or high demand outpacing supply. Analogy: imagine you want to buy chips, but every month, chips become more expensive and expensive. Example: in Zimbabwe, 2008, inflation hit 89.7 sextillion %. People needed trillions of Zimbabwe dollars to buy a loaf of bread. They even printed a $100 trillion note to try fixing the problem. The conclusion is, inflation is like a hidden thief. It slowly steals your money's power, and you didn't even notice it. Stagflation. Stagflation is a combo between stagnation and inflation. Stagflation is a condition when economy in a country didn't have any growth and prices of goods or services keep floating. Cause, usually from supply shocks, combined with bad economic policies. Analogy, like being sick and hungry at the same time. You're weak, no growth, but also your food costs double. Example, in the 1970s, after the OPEC oil embargo, gas prices skyrocketed in the US, but the economy tanked. People waited in huge lines for gas, but also couldn't find jobs. Conclusion: stagflation is the worst of both worlds. No growth and rising prices. Hard to escape. Deflation. Deflation is condition when prices fall over time. Sounds good, but it's actually dangerous. Dangerous because deflation affects economy cycles. Causes people stop spending, so businesses lower prices to survive. Analogy, like stores offering massive discounts every day, but customers still don't have interest to buy. Example, Japan's lost decades. In 1990s until 2000s, prices dropped, but so did hope. People stopped investing, working hard, or even starting families. Conclusion: falling prices may look good, but deflation kills motivation and growth. Economic war. Economic war is a condition when countries attack each other's economies. Using tariffs, sanctions, and bans. They didn't play with weapons, they play using policies or money. Causes political tension, trade disputes, or power plays. Example, United States of America versus China trade war. America taxed $550 billion worth of Chinese goods. China hit back. Farmers in the US lost billions. Apple stock dropped $44 billion in one day. Conclusion: economic wars might be bloodless, but they actually hurt millions all the same. Economic depression. Economic depression is a super long, painful recession. Everything crashes. Jobs, markets, civilization. It's all crushed. Just chaos and depression. Cause, usually from a massive financial collapse or a burst economic bubble. Analogy, like a coma for the economy. Not just sick, barely alive. Example, the Great Depression, 1930s. Over 25% of Americans were jobless. People sold children, waited in bread lines, and lived in cardboard homes. One famous man poked himself after losing everything on stocks market. Worse yet, Great Depression leads Adolf Hitler to rise his power. Because Great Depression gives suffers to German, and Adolf took opportunity to rise his power with promise to erase all the chaos in German. Conclusion: economic depression is recession's monstrous big brother. Can't live in peace, depression is everywhere. Devastating and long-lasting. Currency crisis. Currency crisis is a condition when a country's currency loses value fast. People lose trust in it. Completely no trust. Cause, weak economy, loss of investor confidence, or bad government policies. Analogy, like monopoly money. If no one believes your cash is worth anything, it's just paper. Example, in Argentina, the peso lost over 80% of its value in just 2 years, 2018 to 2020. Prices of food tripled. People stormed stores to stock up before it got worse. Conclusion, a falling currency is like a sinking ship. It pulls the whole economy down with it. Debt crisis. Debt crisis is a condition when a country or person borrows too much money and can't pay it back. Cause, overspending, corruption, or taking loans with bad terms. Analogy, imagine your monthly salary is only $500, but you keep spending $1,000 every month on fancy meals, vacations, and gadgets using your credit card. When the bill comes, you can only pay the minimum amount, while the rest piles up with huge interest. What happens next? Your debt keeps growing every month. Your salary just covers the interest, leaving nothing to live on. The bank freezes your credit, bills pile up, and you go broke. Example, Greece, 2010. The country owed over 300 billion euros. Hospitals ran out of supplies, pensions were cut, and people rioted in the streets. Conclusion, debt is useful, but if you lose control, it can destroy a country. Green economy. Green economy is an economy that aims to grow while protecting the environment. This concept emphasizes the importance of balance between economic growth, social welfare, and environmental sustainability. Cause, driven by climate change awareness and the need to save the planet. Analogy, like building a factory that runs on sunlight and recycles everything. Good for business, better for Earth. Example, Denmark built a wind energy system that powers 40% of the country. Sweden with their carbon tax. Sweden introduced a carbon tax in 1991 to fight climate change. It works by charging polluters for their CO2 emissions, encouraging cleaner energy use. Conclusion, going green isn't a trend, it's the future of survival. And it actually works. Rentier economy. Rentier economy. This type of economy often called as lazy economy. An economy where most income comes from owning stuff, like oil, land, or patents, not from producing or creating. In other words, rentier economy is not productive economy types. They didn't make, they collect. Cause, reliance on natural resources or monopoly positions. Analogy, like someone who lives off apartment rent inherited from grandma. No real work, just collecting cash. Example, Venezuela once earned 95% of its income from oil. When oil prices dropped, the economy crashed. Supermarkets emptied. People were eating out of trash cans. Conclusion, a rentier economy is fragile. If the rent stops, the country collapses. Boom economy. Boom economy or economic boom is a condition when the economy grows fast. Businesses thrive, people get jobs, and everyone's making money. Cause, usually driven by innovation, investment, or rising consumer confidence. Analogy, like a party where everyone's dancing, eating, spending. Everything feels great, like nothing can't stop this wonderful situation. Or is it? Example, during the dot-com boom, late 90s, companies added .com to their website name. People thought that added.com is a professional business and a great opportunity where to invest. Their stock value jumped overnight, then crashed back down. Conclusion, booms feel amazing, but if it's too fast, it might crash hard later. Dual economy. Dual economy or dualistic economy is an economy when a country has two different economic worlds, modern and traditional. In some places, there are those who work as farmers. In other places, there are those who work as programmers. Cause, uneven development, poor infrastructure, and lack of integration. Analogy, like one sibling with a smartphone and Tesla, and the other still uses candles and a donkey cart. Example, in India, you can find $1 billion IT company next to a village with no electricity or plumbing. In one country, you get both Silicon Valley and the 19th century. Conclusion, dual economies show the gap between rich and poor, often within walking distance. That's all for this video. I will continue to give you the simple and much-needed economics on this channel. Subscribe to see important upcoming videos. Click that like button so that you see videos like this from me. See you in next video.